Hello, this is David Chambly with O2 Performance and Recovery in Atlanta, Georgia again. And today we're going to talk about the LiveO2 system, how it works, and the science behind it. As you look at it, it looks like a pretty simple system, but it's quite sophisticated, and we're going to get into that. Now, there's the inventor, Mark Squibb, in Colorado. This is where LiveO2 is based out of, where the company is. He's the inventor, and then Robert Parsons, Tom Butler, they're the three main guys in LiveO2, and they really know the system. They can talk about the science better than I can, but I'm going to give it a shot, and I'm an advocate of LiveO2, been using it for quite a while, and it's had a big impact on me. So let's get into the system. Right here you have the air separator. This is what actually pumps the oxygen into the reservoir bag. So the reservoir bag, as you can see, is quite large. It's divided up into two parts. You've got the big part here, and when this oxygen is pumped in, it's 95% oxygen in this bag. As you can see, there's a partition here that's divided off, the small part below. This has also got air pumped into it, but this is only 14% oxygen. So this partition here, this is stimulated at 10,000 feet of altitude. So the 14% oxygen is 10,000 feet of altitude, true simulation. This is 95% oxygen. Now what you breathe, depending on where you live, here in Atlanta we breathe about 22% oxygen in the air. So when you're breathing 95% oxygen, actually by the time it gets to the hose and gets in you, it's about 85%. You lose a little bit, but 85% is still a lot of oxygen, believe me. But when you're breathing 85% oxygen into your body, that is a huge amount of oxygen going in, and that's going to have some good things that are going to happen to you. So if you just exercise and breathe oxygen by itself or just stand still, that's good for you in itself. But what this system does, this takes that, which is called EWOT, exercise with oxygen therapy, which has been around about 30 years. This takes that to a different level, because what this does is when you're breathing through this bag, and as you can see here, there's a switch. And the switch here is on positive and negative. When you're on positive, you're actually breathing the 95% oxygen here. When you go to negative, this switches you over to the 14% oxygen, the 10,000 feet of altitude. So you go back and forth in the intervals. So let's just say, for explanation purposes, that you're exercising, you get your heart rate up, because you need to get your heart rate up before you start doing this, and it's more effective that way. You will be breathing 95% oxygen. Everything's easy. Oxygen feels great. It's going into your body. You switch over here to the altitude setting, and air thins out, so it's going to be a little bit of a more struggle to breathe. And as you're breathing in this altitude setting, you go into what's called, at some point, into what's called a hypoxic state. And when you're in that hypoxic state, more red blood cells are actually created. That's why people go up into high altitudes and train, athletes. And when those more red blood cells are created, extra red blood cells, when you turn the oxygen on, the oxygen now attaches to those additional red blood cells, and those red blood cells get into your system, and it penetrates your tissues and your muscles deeper, your brain, everything. And this is the magic behind the system, because this down here, the altitude setting, sets the stage for the extra red blood cells, so that when you do go to oxygen, it's going to go deeper and penetrate to your body, and it's going to be more impactful on everything from your brain to your joints to whatever you're talking about. So that's the science behind this system, and it works beautifully, and I've been using it, like I said, quite a while, and you can go through some really difficult workouts, really challenging ones, or you can do easy ones as well. There's a whole spectrum of what you can do, and you can find those on the LiveO2 website, and also if you go to my website, O2 Performance and Recovery, there's a lot of information on that as well. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, LiveO2 Adaptive Contrast System, well worth the money. Check it out. Thank you, David Chambly, O2 Performance and Recovery, Atlanta, Georgia.